Hi there, my name is MindGem and I'm what you call an inspiring landscape artist. For the past 25 years I've been making a living doing graphic designs and graffiti designs, all kinds of illustrations. So in that sense I'm a professional artist. But I've only been painting for about 2 years now. So every painting I do hopefully gets better, but they still have a lot of flaws and very much beginner's mistake in them. I'm gonna consider this as more of an artist diary, and I want to try to show you the mistakes I make and if I find a way to solve them, and if I learn stuff along the way I'm gonna show that. So perhaps it could be useful for anyone to see what I've done wrong, and perhaps pick up a few tips and tricks here and there. So this will be my first series. I'm gonna try to break down this painting in a few episodes. So I'm gonna upload them once a week, and it's gonna start from scratch to the very end. And I'm gonna talk about all the stuff I know, which I can teach you, and I'm also gonna talk about all the stuff I find out and learn along the way. I looked a lot at the famous American kitsch artist Thomas Kincaid. So I wanted to try to make a painting similar to his, where you focus on the romantic lighting and all mountains and twilight skies and all that. So what better title for this painting than a Tranquil Cottage? So that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not so good at coming up with a good composition from just my mind without a reference picture, because it always tends to get too symmetrical and boring. But I still wanted to come up with my own composition instead of relying on a reference. So I spent some time doing very small thumbnails for my composition. I added some stuff, I removed some stuff, and finally I got something that I thought was kind of good. So now I begin to sketch the same composition on the canvas, but as it progresses I'm gonna change it a lot, because I see stuff as I paint. I see stuff I wanna change, and things that looks very bad. So to start with, I do the horizon so I can somewhat figure out the lines of things, and I'm gonna I always try to see if I can make rocks larger in the foreground and smaller in the background, because that's of course how it looks, but I'm telling you it's pretty difficult to see that as you paint. You need a trained eye, and I don't have that. That's one of the things I'm absolutely keen to learn more, to have that eye for things. The perspective of the cottage at this point is all wrong. It looks like a huge 3-story building, and the angles of the cottage is also very wrong. I'm gonna change that later. I left it alone because I knew it was wrong, so I left it alone and started to work on the little stream to figure out the perspective later. Painting rocks is one of the most fun stuff I like to do right now, because rocks has so many angles, and almost any line you draw with your brush is gonna be looking like an angle of a stone. You just have to remind yourself where the light is coming from and in what degree the tone is gonna be. You know, on the left side there, I wanted to have a path, but to begin with, it's too big. It's gonna look like when you come down to the hill where the cottage is, it still looks like the cottage is way too big. So I have to always try to remake that the cottage and the path probably 10 times during this sketching, and I still don't know if it looks right. It does to me in my eyes, but often others can spot the errors much more easily because you get so into the painting you can't see clearly. The little sailboat up in the water there is probably way too big, so I have to either remove it completely or make it much smaller. We'll see. Nothing is set in stone right now. So I wanted to add a porch to the cottage, perhaps where you can sit on your lawn chairs at night and just listen to the pouring stream. And I indicated just a big square in the sky to indicate not where the sun is gonna be, because it's gonna be a night painting, but I just made a big bit blur there to get a sense of where the light is coming from, so I know where I want to keep my shadows. And as you can hear, English is not my first language, so I hope you understand me, even though I probably say the wrong words for the wrong things a lot. So now I think I have the perspective of the cottage about right, at least as I see it. I'm not too sure, but it looks a whole lot better now than it did in the beginning. So I'm gonna run with that and see what it takes me. Well, that's it for the sketch of this Tranquil cottage painting. The next episode I'm gonna upload next week. I'm gonna do all the background, the mountain, the sky, and the forest line in the next episode. And we're gonna talk about all the stuff I did wrong and right. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done that already. All right, that's it. Thank you and goodbye.